So in this video, we're going to be looking at what can be referred to as the LangChain ecosystem. The LangChain ecosystem. You can also refer to it as LangChain architecture. In fact, there's a page on the website, an architecture page that basically lists all this. Now, these are one of the things that if you just jump into LangChain and you just start using LangChain, you might miss out on what the structure, how everything actually fits together, the entire suite of packages that come with LangChain itself, which surprisingly isn't one. It's a lot actually. It's a lot actually. But some of them build on each other, and some of them are core, while others are optional. But let us look at them one by one. The very first one is langchain-core. Let me pick my pen. So the very first one is langchain-core. Let's go to number one. Is langchain-core. Now langchain-core is the core, just as the name implies, is the core package, is the core LangChain package. That is where the foundation of LangChain is built, and it contains all those standard abstractions for language models, abstractions for prompts, abstractions for parsers, output parsers, vector stores, basically everything that comes out of the box with LangChain. This is where the core abstraction lives. This is where the other abstractions build off of. Yeah, they build off of. You'll still see abstractions, the main abstractions for the language models later, but everything builds off the abstractions that come from the LangChain core package. And even when we start writing code, when we start diving into some of the modules in this some of the modules on Langcast, you will see us using LangChain core a lot for output parsers, for prompts. Yeah, for prompts, building a lot of our prompts they're going to come from LangChain core. So it's a core package, and everything LangChain depends on this. Everything LangChain depends on this. So most of the time when you install a different LangChain package or a higher LangChain package, it's going to come with LangChain core to work with, because everything has a dependency on LangChain core. Probably only LangSmith, but yeah, basically LangChain core is the foundation of every package in LangChain. But then we now have the LangChain package itself, the main LangChain package. So we have LangChain core, which contains the abstractions for everything, for chat models, for everything you need to work with, anything you need to work with, like prompts, vector stores, and everything. LangChain core contains the main abstractions. Now, the LangChain package itself contains what builds the architecture of LangChain apps. Yeah, the cognitive architecture of LangChain apps, what helps you to build it. That is what the LangChain package contains. Things like chains and workflows, because a lot of applications in LangChain is all about connecting different components into a workflow. Each component performing a step in a particular task. So you compose them to create a workflow. So that's what LangChain contains. Things like LangChain Expression Language, LCEL, that you're going to be seeing later in our orchestration module rather. So that's what is contained in LangChain. Also things like agents. You've heard a lot about agents, and they are one of the most popular things in the AI space right now. So LangChain agents also come from the LangChain package, the tools for building agents, because agents are just another level of orchestration. They're just another level of orchestration. Basically, just the difference between them and normal workflows rather, and chains, is because the LLM has control over the workflow. It has control over the workflow, so they are autonomous. So we have agents, and also retrieval strategies from things like vector stores. These are what are contained inside the LangChain package. Everything that has to do with what LangChain is using to compose the components together into an LLM-powered cognitive architecture. That is what is contained in the LangChain package itself. Then we now have number 3. Let me just write the numbers here. Number 3, which are our integration packages. Now, LangChain has the foundational stuff, the core stuff. Oh, you want to work with prompts, you want to work with models, you want to work with tools and stuff like that. And also the architecture that comes from the main LangChain package. But then you need to work with services. You need to work with different types of software. That's where integration package is coming. Yeah, that's where integration package is coming. So, and mainly, these are for very popular and standard software. Those are the most popular ones, like very popular LLMs, very popular softwares. They are separated into their own separate integration packages. For example, if you want to work with the OpenAI API, you have to use LangChain OpenAI. Yeah. This is a package that is maintained by OpenAI themselves. It's maintained by the LangChain team in conjunction with OpenAI themselves. We also have LangChain Google Gen AI, which is for the Gemini models. You have LangChain Anthropic, which is for Claude models. And for Grok, for Mistral, you have standard packages like that. These are integration packages. Now, integration packages don't only exist for LLM providers, even though those ones are the most popular ones. But you also have it for the vector stores like Chroma Weaviate. So there's LangChain Chroma, as you can see in this example here. There's LangChain Chroma. There's also LangChain Weaviate. There's LangChain Pinecone. These are very, very popular vector stores. And also for databases like Postgres, there's LangChain Postgres. And cloud platforms like AWS, even platforms like NVIDIA also have their own integration packages with LangChain. LangChain, aside being a uniform tool for developing with different language models, one big selling point of LangChain is also that it has the biggest suite of integration options. It's so large. The amount of things that you can integrate with LangChain. In fact, a lot of services are coming out of the box these days with their LangChain packages. They release an AI tool, they release a LangChain package. I even saw recently a MasterCard conference where they also partnered with LangChain to be able to integrate their MasterCard AI services into applications. So yeah, integration packages are very, very powerful. They are how you actually work with your favorite software, your favorite applications, your favorite LLM providers, and use them inside your LangChain applications. And like I said, most of them are maintained. They are maintained. The standard packages are maintained by the LangChain team, also in conjunction with the providers of the software and services themselves. Then we have LangChain Community. Number 4, we have LangChain Community. Now, LangChain opens up the framework for contributions. The LangChain team have opened up the framework for contributions from very enthusiastic developers out there and lovers of the LangChain framework. So you can actually have a tool that you want to build and integrate a LangChain integration for. Yeah, you can build it. You can build it. And that's where we have community packages. They are third-party integrations that, though not maintained by the LangChain team, they're not maintained by the LangChain team, they're maintained by the LangChain community, which is a very, very wonderful and brimming community. I'm in the LangChain Slack channel, and there are like over 7,000 people there. And that's just as at now, like 7,000 people there. So there's so many people contributing to LangChain, and you have a lot of these third-party integration packages for a lot of models. A lot of there are some SLMs, that's small language models, that a lot of people, they have written so many integrations for, so you can use them. Integrations for things like the Llama models and stuff like that. Even very popular stuff like the loaders, your text loader, where you want to, especially when you want to perform RAG operations, when you want to load stuff from a text file, you want to load stuff from a web page with the web loader, you want to load stuff from a PDF file with the PDF loader, and from CSV files like Excel with the CSV loader. All those stuff come from the LangChain community. Yeah, they all come from LangChain community. And you're free to contribute. You're free to contribute to tools that can be used within the LangChain community to further bring integration options into LangChain. So that's LangChain community. They are not maintained by the LangChain team, but they are maintained by a very vibrant LangChain community, and these are standard tools that are used in production level LangChain applications themselves. So let's go and check others. So after LangChain community, we then have LangGraph. LangGraph should be it's number 5, right? Yeah, LangGraph. LangGraph. Yeah. LangGraph is LangChain's orchestration framework for building complex workflows, and specifically for AI agents. Yeah, for AI agents, because AI agents are very, very complex workflows. Like I told you, AI agents are just another level of orchestration. They're not just another level of orchestration, more complicated than simple chains that you can build with LangChain. So at the very first iteration of LangChain, the core LangChain package, as we've talked about, as agents. Yeah, so LangChain still has its own agents that you can use, but now they've shifted all that responsibility to LangGraph. Responsibility to LangGraph, because LangGraph has an architecture and a lot of standard infrastructure for building any type of complex workflow that you want to build. In fact, I think as of today, it is the most customizable framework for building AI agents. It's the most customizable frameworks for building AI agents. While tools like Crew AI can be very, very easy to use, Crew AI is beautiful to use, and it can be customized to a very high level, but you can't still customize it as much as LangGraph. LangGraph is very open in how you can make your decisions. You create this state graph, and you can create this complex graph of nodes and edges, with your nodes being your action takers, which can be simple functions, or agents themselves, and your edges being controlling the flow of states between that web of orchestration. So they help you build very standard and complex workflows, and especially AI agents, And even a week ago, I saw that there is now a functional API. So with LangGraph, it has always been, you build a state graph. Everything is kind of constructed as a state graph, built out as a state graph with nodes and edges. But now there is a functional API. There's a functional API that is more declarative. So yeah, that's something that we'll also be checking out when we start looking at agents, developing agents with LangGraph. So yeah, LangGraph is your framework for building complex workflows. If there's any workflow that is beyond the scope of LangChain, move to LangGraph. Or if you want to build AI agents, just use LangGraph. That's where everything agent-wise has been moved into right now. So that's LangGraph. Next, we have langserve. Now your LangChain applications are not going to live on your computer forever. Yeah, that is not their home. Except your hobby projects that you just want to use to test out stuff. But when you're building serious applications that you want the world to use, you want the world to see, you want to use to build businesses, you definitely have to launch them as a remote service that people can plug into, or your applications can plug into. So langserve helps you to deploy LangChain applications. Yeah, deploy LangChain applications with langserve. These applications are deployed as REST APIs, so they are going to be used just like any other software that exposes an API. But you know that behind the scenes, you have a large language model giving intelligence to the entire workflow of your application. So langserve helps you to deploy your LangChain applications to production as REST APIs. Now, finally, we have LangSmith. By the way, if you want to deploy AI agents and more complex workflows, you want to use the LangGraph platform. There's a LangGraph platform. Probably should have added it here. There's a LangGraph platform also that you can use to deploy AI agents to production. So you want to check that out when you have more complex workflows or you have AI agents. langserve would help you deploy simple LangChain applications, simple workflows, simple runnables, and stuff like that. But if you want to deploy more complex stuff, look at the LangGraph platform. It's currently in beta as at the time of recording this video, but I know very soon they will have it as a stable version, and it can be more production ready than it is right now. So yeah, like I said, finally we have LangSmith. Now LangSmith is a beautiful platform because I love observability. Yeah, that's why I'm calling it a beautiful platform. I love observability because I once had a lot of issues with building applications and I don't have any kind of insight into what is going on behind the scenes. They were not well instrumented for error handling and knowing the activities behind the scenes, finding bottlenecks, and also kind of addressing reliability concerns and scalability issues also. And yeah, that was a nightmare when it was happening back then. So I'm always very, very excited about observability. In fact, I have a whole course on the LinkedIn Learning platform for observability for LLM applications. Yeah. So which makes me love LangSmith, because LangSmith is created to work with LangChain natively. It's created by the LangChain team to work with LangChain natively, to work with LangGraph natively, to bring observability directly into your applications. So you get debugging, you get testing, you can evaluate your applications, you can monitor you see every single thing behind the scenes, because LLMs can be quite a black box. So while you might not actually see what is going on inside the LLM, you can be able to see what goes into the LLM, what goes out of the LLM. You can see the amount of tokens consumed. You can see the time it takes for the LLM to process the issues. You can see what came out, the raw output from the LLM before it is pre-processed by an output parser or became a structured output or stuff like that. So LangSmith gives you the ability to do that. And it's so beautiful how it works, because most of the time all you have to do is just add your environment variables for your LangSmith API key, and automatically you get a dashboard with everything that you need to observe your application. You don't even need to actually you can use it just like that. You don't need to do any granular instrumentation in your application before you start getting quality observability, impactful observability out of the box. But then it also gives you the ability to go into your code and instrument certain points of your code. But out of the box with your API keys, it's already giving you a lot already. A whole lot of actionable data is already coming from that. And you have the LangSmith portal where you can open up, click your application, because every application will have an identifier, so you can recognize the application, you can give it a name. So you click your application and you see all the workflows, you see how everything, all the runs, even down to a single runnable, how it ran, the input, the output, everything. It's so amazing. And there was the last time I even checked, they calculate cost. They even calculate cost, your token cost in dollars. They calculate in dollars, so you can actually see how much you're spending on your application. So that's the ecosystem of LangChain.